history on this particular engine. This was produced in 1952. It had the distinction of being one of two different American Flyer sets that were produced in 1952 that had knuckle couplers, hence the K. The other style was the Northern. So you have K335s, you have Hudsons that are K325s. And both of those came out, like I said, in 52 with train sets that featured the all-new knuckle coupler. A little bit more history about the Hudson. According to Doyle, there were two different types, a Type 1 and a Type 2. Based on his distinctive descriptions, it looks like the only difference between the Type 1 and the Type 2 is the font and what's on the side of the tender. This happens to be a Type 1 because it says American Flyer. Type 2 said American Flyer Lines. Other than that, there doesn't seem to be any difference between the two as far as scarcity. Both of them are rated at a 5. It's a 5 out of 8. So I would say they're very verging on the less common side of things. So anyhow, I've got power hooked up to the rails. Let's go ahead and see what we get. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, so we do have a headlight. See, we got smoke. Now the reverse unit is not tripping, but that might be because it's locked. Let's go ahead and... Hey, hey, hey. Whoa. That's a problem with these trailing trucks. Sometimes they like to just become a nuisance and short everything out. As you probably have heard, your speaker is making lots of noise in the tender, so we'll have to investigate that. See if maybe it needs a new capacitor and maybe it needs an on-off switch. So, all right. Well, I'm encouraged that this thing runs. And I was looking at the wire harness back here to the jack panel, and the wires are pretty frayed. So I was a little bit nervous that maybe it wouldn't even operate, but miraculously it seems to. So that's great. All right, it's time to get involved with this guy, and I will start with the tender and bring you back when there's an update. Hey Greg, wanted to bring you back for a little quick update here. So these are your bottom fingers. You can see the hole, nice and shiny and big. And then the top fingers, somebody soldered them, so we know there was a hole in there. So I'm going to go ahead and swap those out for you, and also get rid of this wire harness. You know, it's not the worst I've seen, but yeah, I mean, this is one of those things where if I if I don't, probably you'd get it back and start running your trains and it would fail, and I'd feel bad and you'd be upset. So let's just go ahead and change it out. So we'll do that, and I see this capacitor looks absolutely great. I look for them to bulge on the ends, and this one is not at all. I mean, it looks fantastic. So I am going to go ahead and put an on-off switch for you, and basically what it's going to be is just an interrupt switch. So it'll, if you throw it to the off position, it'll kill the power to the speaker, and if you turn it to the on position, then you'll have noise. So that's something else I'm going to do for you here in a little bit. Hello, here is another update for you, Greg. You and I actually just got off the phone. We were talking about several things, and I mentioned I was working on your K325. So here is a bit of an update for you. The fingers and the original wire harness, I think I might have showed you that the fingers, I don't know if you can see the holes, but I think maybe I showed you that earlier. But I replaced the wire harness with one that I make, and I do color coordinated shrink tubing so that if you ever need to diagnose a wire or something, it's a lot easier than just having a group of black wires. And so that's been done. I've also installed a 5th and 6th wire. This is going to go to your smoke unit and your headlight. And so we've got new wire harness, we've got new reverse fingers, we've got new wiring there. And I've also installed an on-off switch. It's a toggle switch here, and that goes to your speaker. And you will hear how this thing crackles and carries on, or maybe you already heard it depending on how I put the video together. And then I mentioned to you that the coupler has got a problem. Something else I wanted to mention. When I do wire harnesses, I reuse the original jack panel, and I take the old wires out and clean it all up, and then, wish this was focusing better, and then put it all back together. So that you get, you know, the original jack panel working for you as it should. And so that's something else I wanted to mention to you. So just a little bit about the tender truck here. This guy's got some miles on it. So I put some eyelets in the side frames there with some lithium grease. That kind of helps hold them, and then of course lubricates the ends of the wheels. And then I polished up the pickups here as well as that one, and straightened out the drawbar that was about as straight as a dog's hind leg. So anyhow, part of the fun of working on these, and I'll go ahead and reassemble this guy and then start on this one. One other thing I think that's worth noting, and let's see if I've got a sample here. Oftentimes we see brass pickup wheels on tenders, and typically we see something that looks pretty gold. But they also made brass that has a little different content that look more like steel, and sometimes they're a little hard to differentiate, but they won't ever rust. So anyhow, this happens to have those types of wheels here on the tender. They do look almost like they're steel, but they're not. There's some sort of a, who knows what the metal combinations are, nickel, copper, I don't know. So anyhow, just something to note if you're working on these guys and you think, oh no, it's got the wrong wheels. It may not. You can use steel wheels on a tender. The brass ones tend to, I think, do a better job. That's my personal opinion. But you can use steel as well. But these are not. Hi, Greg. Hey, back with a couple quick comments. I found that the smoke extension was fractured and ended up having to actually dig it out. You have to take those off to remove the chassis and the boiler. So anyhow, I've got replacements, not a big deal. Notice that there's a strong diesel aroma. So I don't know if at some point someone actually used diesel fuel for some reason on this unit, or if there's a lubricant that's being used that just happens to smell like that. Anyhow, it's strong. And I smelled it a little bit on the last engine of yours that I worked on, and I was like, yeah, just must be my imagination, but it's much stronger on this one. So not sure what's going on there, but just making a comment about it. And then here, as I'm getting ready to remove components of the motor, I see we've got one clip here that is just pretty much crushed. Not sure what the story is there. I hopefully can get this one fixed. If not, I do have what I'd call aftermarket replacements. They're like the best I could find. And I can get those to work on Flyer steam engines. Of course, you'll know it's not original. But if I can't salvage this one, I will be putting a new one of those in. Hi, Greg. Hey, wanted to bring back just a little bit of an update. So I tried to get this thing bent back, and I just can't get it to. I can't get it to the right contour so that it fits snugly. Because again, it might happen in shipping. I don't know. So anyhow, this is the replacement one. which also takes some bending, but because I'm starting with a square piece, it's not as big of a deal. Here are the springs off the engine. You can see one has got some kind of wacky spread out thing going on, and they both look like they were maybe stretched. They still have some tension to them, but this one especially concerns me, so I'm just going to put 2 new ones in for you here. Your brushes look to be real good. Apparently the gentleman that worked on this for you, I don't know how many years ago, must have changed those out because those look great. So other than these 3 things, from the motor side, it looks good. As I told you, I did a little bit of work on the armature, so that's in good shape, ready to be put back together. Hey Greg, wanted to bring you back. I've got everything working really good for you. Smoke unit is prolific, so while we do this following little test, I've got it unplugged because I'm tired of getting smoked out. So here's what I'm noticing. Go ahead and take a listen to what we've got going. Let's see, is it going to be, so reverse. And now forward. So we got an engine that's moving really well. It's a little bit slow in reverse, but forward is breakneck speed, so I think that's good. Hey Greg, your trailing truck was attached with this little guy, but this is what you need. I've got this one. It's out of my stash, so I will put the correct trailing truck screw on for you. Another thing is, I noticed the smoke unit was loose, and as I was putting everything back together, I was like, I wonder if I can cinch that up. And I turned the screw, and it just kind of turned. I was like, what? This is the screw that was put. So a smoke unit has 2 attachment locations. One is down here, and one is up here. This is a fairly long screw. And then the one that goes up here isn't quite as long. It's this length. Anyhow, I will replace the front screw with the correct one, and that will give you a much more secure smoke unit and choo-choo. So another update for you. I want to put in the appropriate trailing truck screw, and this hole's been stripped out. So I went through some different screws that I have, and really the only option I had was to retap it and put a larger screw in. So that's what I did. So I retapped the hole, and now this is a kind of screw that actually is used up here to hold the chassis in.